and we're Dr. Burns Review, not a doctor. Today we're talking about the Coyote, the build, how spicy it is, and how I broke it too. I wasn't even hammering on it. I'm not frustrated. It was so funny to me by how it broke, and I'm pretty sure I know how. But anyway, for transparency and crystal clarity, this is not being sponsored. No manufacturer's in contact with me. I'm not being paid in any way, and there's no affiliate links. That way, if a manufacturer doesn't like my video, I don't care. It's not for them. This is all my time, my money, my rig, my upgrades. That way you get an honest opinion and it's straight from me to you. These videos are for you, nobody else. So, let's talk about the specs first, and then we'll talk about what I broke because it's pretty important. What do we do for upgrades? Axe R3 system, wonderful system. I always love it. With a 550 motor, it's so overkill. So overkill. 3300 kV, it is beautiful. It is wonderful. This thing screams, and there's a funny story that I'll tell you after about that. But long story short, I kept the 14 tooth pinion. You do have to upgrade. So if you do a 550, it has a 5mm shaft. So you need to upgrade your pinions. You can't do the 3 3/4. I don't remember what it is. I think it's like a 3.7mm center bore or whatever it is. Whatever your pinion you have on, you got to junk it and you got to get a 5mm. Next, 70 kilogram steering servo, AliExpress or Amazon. We'll get into everything one by one in the good. Hobbywing, BEC CC 2.0. Love these. They're waterproof. That's a whole reason why I buy them. And this is probably the third or fourth one I have. I really do enjoy them. Radio link transmitter and receiver. Nothing to write home. That's it. And as far as a battery goes that I love, that fits pretty well, Z2200 3S. You get a while on this, especially if you're not an idiot and have a 14 tooth and a 3300 kV and you're not hammering it off on rocks. You will get forever. Even on the stock system, I was getting hours with no issue. So if the eagle-eyed viewers have seen what my chassis is doing compared to my Axial, you might have an idea of what's broken. Because, yeah. So look at the red pumpkin, and it's really, that's the best way to see. You notice how it's moving? It's not supposed to be. You see that silver bar that's hanging over the pumpkin? You notice how it's not attached to anything? That's what broke. Okay. And this is the part that is so funny. I was hammering on it for B-roll. I was jumping it. And there's another thing behind that, but I was just driving it around my yard. I was enjoying it. So right before 10, 15 minutes ago, before I started this video, I had to wash it real quick. So before I was going to drive it out back, I was going to do some top speed and see how it was so I could at least talk on that. There was a rock maybe yay big, completely smooth. I was going slow. And went up on the rock, one side went up like this, it went click, and then I lost steering altogether. Because what happens is that when you try to steer, it just moves the axle back and forth. I thought I had broken like the bar, like the steering bar that goes from the servo. No, tie rod bar. So that was kind of funny. Now I assume it's from all of the abuse, because if I'm gonna test something, I'm gonna send it. Plain and simple. If I'm gonna test something, I'm gonna test it. And this thing got some serious abuse for the most part, and it took it all. But the track bar, I think that was just its final, send off, because I think after just jumping it and slamming back down on rocks and everything else, the hardest part too is, and I already measured it, it's 4mm on this tie rod bar, and it's 3mm for the track bar. So it's 25% smaller. The problem with Axial SCX10 IIIs in general is that they have this like Z pattern. So like, if you look at the track bar itself, it goes up, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes up. It makes a little Z. Looks like Pikachu lightning bolt thing. I don't know. Looks like Harry Potter Scar, little Z up. So the problem is that, one, I thought it was going to break there. It didn't. It broke all the way on the other end point. And it sheared the metal. It didn't shear the plastic. It sheared at the metal, right at where it meets. So I have a sneaky suspicion constantly doing this. It was just flexing there, and that's finally what snapped. So I'm gonna see if I can put a straight one on, because I have like 2 or 3 extra links. If not, worst case, I'll see if they make an upgraded one at an absolute bare bones minimum. I'm not gonna put the original back on, there's no way. I will MacGyver something, or I will make something, I'll make an STL, and if I do, I always give it away for free. I also figured out why it broke that and didn't break the mount off. Because if you've ever broken a track bar, most of the time you break the track bar mounts off. That's why TRX4s, they make metal ones that you can screw in. I've never had an issue. I've never broken mine off. And I've hammered on it pretty good. So I think it just takes a really good bump. But anyway, where it mounts to the chassis, this one, I didn't even notice, is metal. That's metal. So that's why it didn't break off on the chassis itself. It broke off on it. But oh my gosh, look at that. That is so bad. So that's what broke. Editor Dan will put in, I got to do a lot of research right after this video. Because like I said, I broke it, I cleaned it, and here I am. Because I gotten 3-4 runs on it and I needed to record the video. Because I don't do a video or review unless I've driven it at least 3 or 4 times. I prefer 4. That way one of those runs is B-roll. Because I don't want to just be constantly thinking about testing and other things when I'm doing B-roll. I want it to look good, and then the rest I want to spend all my time working and seeing and visualizing. Let's talk about all look good. Because there's no nitty gritty. That was just broken. It's not bad either. I mean, I was abusing the ever living out of it, so I'm not blaming it. When I say, yeah, it's smaller by 25%, I'm just stating facts that it is smaller, and it was probably my abuse that broke it. And quite frankly, I don't think I would have ever had that issue if I was on the stock. I think between having a really big servo on this and just jumping it on rocks and slamming back down, it finally did it. And I'm going to do reviews on everything we're going to talk about eventually, but for right now, we're just going to talk about it on this Axe R3 550. 550 is this motor size. The R3 is the version. They've had 3 versions. This is R3. The difference between the R2 and the R3 is that you get 2 extra channels, auxiliary channels you can plug into your receiver. And what I set mine for is 1, the drag brake, how much, and then the drag brake quickness, I guess, is how quick the drag brake engages. I usually do that because normally I'll have a winch on the front, and I like to be able to put it into a neutral state with no drag brake when I'm winching. It is night and day. It's almost worth the upgrade going from the Fusion Pro to something like this when you can do something like that. But Fusion Pro Elite, that has an auxiliary channel now, so you can do cool stuff. The Fusion Pro, like I have, no. And I wasn't too big of a fan on the power. Like, it would be fine in something like this, but if you got a heavier rig, the Fusion Pro Elite, I want to do more driving on it, but because I don't own it, I have to borrow it. But yeah, I wasn't a super big fan. I understand it. It's good. I like all the upgrades, but eh. So the R3, what's cool about this is that you can jump on your phone and it has this app where you can just scroll through all the settings. So the funny story is that I have a 14 tooth in this because I wanted to keep the same as the stock. Stock has a 14 tooth with a 35 turn motor. I put an 11 tooth in there. I stole it out of this first because I was like, hey, if I can just get everything going and, you know, same day, done. So this one has it because this one has a 4274 motor. It shares the same 5mm shaft. So I stole it out of that 11 tooth. I was like, great. Put it in this. It drove extremely slow. Couldn't figure it out. I was like, okay, charge the battery, thinking maybe it's like at that half stage where like it's at a storage charge, so everything, it gets the voltage cut off. Nope. I'm messing with the ESC. I'm jumping into the app over and over and over again, resetting it, upgrading it, couldn't figure it out. Finally said, okay, I'll order a set. I ordered a set of 12 through 15. I put a 14 tooth in this, and that's what I've been driving then. Go to do the B-roll, and I wanted to change the sub trim because the sub trim was just slightly to the right. I fat fingered into endpoint 40%. It was at 40%. Now keep in mind, 40% was slightly more than a walking speed on this. So when I put it to 100, that's why in the B-roll, you're gonna see me jumping it and slamming it and sending it. It screams. Specifically, I'll put a video right now of it at top speed out in the yard just barely before I broke it. It screamed. And you know, I know that's kind of crazy for me because if you've ever heard any of my other videos, I'm like a 93-year-old guy that goes super slow. But that's because all these rigs have high center of gravities. Every single one of them is high center of gravity. This one, because it has so much weight down low, and yeah, these electronics are heavy, but they're not as heavy as this brass inserts and the fake brake rotors and all this extra weight. It is so much fun to just rip around and send it. It's just an absolute blast. So the 14 tooth may stay. The cool part about radio links, and I'm eventually gonna do a video on this, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're used to like a DX5 rugged or anything like that, this is a wonderful upgrade. It's not as rugged. It doesn't have like corner pockets or anything like that, but you also don't get a TI calculator from the 90s style screen. You get a full color touchscreen. So this is a wonderful upgrade, but it is expensive. But on this, I've set this bottom button right here so that it has 50% on the endpoint. So if you're just hammering around at 100%, and let's say it does 10 miles an hour, you can press this down here and it'll drop it to 50% throttle at a max. So that way you only do 5. So it's really, really good if you have ridiculous gearing. Like the RGT Land Commander has terrible gearing. It's too high or numerically too low, so it's too fast. So that's a saver. I say all this because I might keep the 14. The 14's a lot of fun. It's been so long since I hammered down on a crawler that didn't want to roll every 10 seconds. You know, and I did do a little crash, and that might have even contributed to 2 probably. So, wonderful system, a bit expensive. They'll go on sale between 125, and I think they normally stock around 215. They just had a price drop, and it's been a price drop for a few months at like 180. So, 180 is a lot of money, but I do love this system. Castle makes great products too. I just don't like the whine. Hopefully they've, in the last year or two, gotten rid of the whine. If not, I still like this because I just don't like the whine. I like Hobbywing products in general, but Hobbywing CC 2.0 waterproof. The only reason why I have this thing is because I've had 4 of these and they're waterproof and they work really well. That's it. The one in this for the ProTech 1K TBL, this is the same BEC I use. If you don't know what a BEC is, all it does is it takes voltage from the battery and it sets it to a certain point that goes to whatever accessory you're doing. And if you're thinking, Dan, I already got a BEC inside my ESC. You absolutely do, but the constant amperage that the BEC in these ESCs puts out is nowhere near the one that this can handle. And I'm a little frustrated. I'm gonna be real with you on a tangent. There's no reason they can't put something like this in the ESC itself. I swear it's just because they want you to buy the other thing. Because it's not a heat thing. There's no fan on this. It's just a little piece of metal with a little tiny board on the inside. But long story short, yeah, your BEC can pump out, like this thing can pump out like 6 amps, I think it is. I don't know, won't put it in, but I think this, even it being as expensive as it is and big as it is, it's only 6 or 8 amps total consistent voltage or consistent amperage versus this is like 15. And if you have like a winch servo and you've got a really high-end steering servo, if you're using them both at the same time, that's a lot of amperage. It's also consistent too, which is nice. Radio Link. It goes with a Radio Link. I own Radio Link. None of this is sponsored. I just like the Radio Links. Amazon special steering servo. Thing cranks. It says 70 kilogram and it is not. This is 7.5 volts constant. I never understood that because 7.4 is like the go-to. But this only does it in increments of 0.5, so whatever. It's 7.5, it works. Even at that little extra voltage, yes, it's not 70 kilograms. But it is good. And as light as this thing is, it really, even if this thing was 45, it's still more than enough for this. This has really become the most overkill rig that is now called Torque Surgeon. So as far as the good goes, the performance, it's wonderful. I mean, to be fair though. To be fair.
Oh, don't say to be fair. I hate when people say to be fair.
It was still good out of the box. The steering servo is so overkill, it's not even funny, it's wonderful. It cranks all around. You can just shimmy it back and forth with no issue. Even with this amount of weight on here, the shocks are still great. It still does that. It does that little compressed. Even with it broken, it still does the compressed. I mean, I'm just so happy. 14, if you're anything around 3,300 kV, 14 is crazy. I mean, I think 14 tooth was great for stock because it was just faster than walking, but you could get a little bit of low end torque. This is just, it doesn't care and it's sending it. It's awesome. BEC does its job. Here's your review. I mean, the big thing was, I didn't think it mattered, but I'll mention it, is that, you know, this was brand new. The BEC, brand new. The motor was brand new, and the R3 were all brand new. I take them out of the box to do videos that I don't even think I submitted or put up or uploaded, but these 3 were all brand spanking new. The radio link came out of TRX6. That's why the endpoints were set to 40%. Oops. And this is from the plow video. I put these in a plow, and I used to run these constantly until they couldn't find center. Surprisingly on this, I haven't had that issue yet, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I did accidentally strip the wires though by pulling on them. So before I even finished upgrading, I had to cut this, solder it, and then reapply everything. I mean, it's great now. I mean, you'll never know the difference, but wheels and tires though, they really keep that weight down low. I'm really happy with it. I don't think there's too much else to say. I mean, everything so far has not given me anything bad yet. At least in the 3 or 4 runs. Now, that can always change. I can always find a certain situation, but I mean, even when I was really, really tipping it sideways, I mean, it still will sit beyond the edge of the tread. It will start chilling on the sidewall. I mean, right about there. I mean, it's really impressive. I just haven't found anything bad. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying I haven't found it yet. And I mean, I've tried everything besides it being a little too fast, and that can be changed. I'm so happy the way it came out. Thanks to Chris for the one comment that was able to help me build this. I was getting a little nervous that nobody was going to comment, and I was like, are we doing a build or am I going to go rogues? And I refused to take this little puffball up on top. I know one day it's going to break. I put it under a tree today, and it did this, and I was like, and it peeled it, but when it comes off, it's coming off by nature. It ain't going to be me. So I'm going to go do a bunch of research to figure out what I can do for a track bar, and I'll put it in. But thank you for watching. If you're from the last one, thank you even more. Good night.